Hi, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, hats for kids. Don't forget, mail them to me. And in my last video, you will see the hats that Petra from Texas sent me. Petra Fox is her name, and she has a YouTube channel. And oh, I can't. Oh, Sosa Family. That's her YouTube channel. Guys, she does beautiful work. But I want to shout out, check her out, guys. Sosa. She makes beautiful hats. She does beautiful work. And in fact, I just watched a couple of her videos last night. Okay, the first thing I wanted to show you is look what I made yesterday. I made bowl cozies. And I made 5. And they are so, you know, I watched a couple ways of doing it, and one of them put a seam. That's kind of dark, you can't see it. Put a seam crisscross, okay? Well, then I looked at the one that I had bought back in December at one of the craft shows, and it didn't have a seam. So so I started making them without the seam, and I thought, well, it's the same, you know? And it made it a lot quicker. Then after that, I was able to whip them out a lot faster. Because you got to, like Ella says, you have to cut the material, and it's got the right padding in it now. So these are my little bowl cozies. See, they're double-sided. So if you want, this is the one with the wine glasses on it. And then if you want, you turn it inside out. And you could put another pattern on if you want. I didn't. I just used the thing. So that if you got a bowl of chili or a bowl of whatever soup, you could stick it in here, or anything that you use a bowl for, stick it in here, put it in the microwave, and pull it out like this. And I even actually eat with it in there so that I don't have to touch the bottom of them. But yeah, so I made 4 of those. 3 of them go to my neighbor because she wanted to give one to her son, one to her sister, and she bought this material. And I'm taking one to my sister. So at least I've got these 4. And then I've got that other material. I still have some of this material left that I'll make some more. So I did this. I was on the sewing machine all day yesterday. So I couldn't even stick the thread through the needle last night. Then I went ahead and took the rest of the material and the kitty cats, and I made me another project bag. This is not the same one that I showed you the other day. This is the first one. And I did a little thing. And then after watching Deb and how she made her project bags, I thought it was cool how she did the sides open so you could do your thread. Well, mine was sort of like an afterthought. So what I did is I put a buttonhole stitch right here so that you could pull the yarn through that. Why not? So anyway, it was just a fly of the moment. No, nothing fancy. Hers are beautiful. Mine are just for my own use. So look at that. My own project bags. I got 2 of them now. And I'm going to need them because I got projects all around here that doesn't have a home. So I need something cinched so that I can put stuff in it and it doesn't fall out. Right now I'm using like grocery bags and stuff like that, and man, some of them are so heavy, then when you go pick them up they roll out and all this stuff. But I think this is going to be, perfect. And I did do the lining, put the green lining in it, so it makes it nice and sturdy. But I was listening to Debbie from Canadian Crocheter, if you don't know who I'm talking about, and she had picked up different materials and stuff like that. Well, I have some old reupholstery fabric that I've had for years because I used it to reupholster my chairs, dining room chairs, where I lived up in Virginia, and I kept the material because it was so much of it. Well, I think I don't even have to line it. I bet I can make project bags out of that. It's in there somewhere. I don't know where I put it, the material, but I'll have to show it to you and see. So I got my project bag made. I got the cozies made. I also started um, one of my bags out of the white garbage, and this one's going to have a round bottom. I know this is kind of big, but what I do is I do the bottom kind of large. Okay, and you can see I've got it. And then what I do is I start opening it up, and then I'm doing a couple. How many have I done? One, two, three. I'm on my third round of just single crochet. And what I'm going to do now on the single crochet, I'm going to start decreasing so that it starts to go up. That way, because when you start putting things in here, it pulls. You know, it um, has a nice stretch to it. So I like the bottom to be kind of heavy, you know, kind of big, so you could put lighter things or heavier things on there. And I always do this in the round in a single crochet so that nothing falls through the cracks down here. Okay? So this is just the beginning. I'm going to make this for my sister. So yes, I've got this started. And where are we? 6 minutes. Okay, here we go. Okay, we got that out of the way. Now, let's get to the back scratchers. Now, I've already used mine. Now, I'm going to explain this so that it'll be very easy for everybody. And and you'll have to decide on how wide you want it. Now, I'm a large person, so I wanted it a little wider than normal. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I think I used like 18 or 20 stitches to start out with. I noticed that Debbie's is a little bit small. She might have used maybe 10, 12, maybe a dozen. But I would say use around 12. Start out with 10 to 12 stitches. Now what I did is I took a string of the cotton. You must use cotton, okay? I took the cotton yarn and the scrubby yarn. Now I used the sparkle on this, but I had brought some other yarn that I'm going to be using for the future, and this is the Red Heart just plain scrubby, okay, which I'm going to make some more. And the thing that I did is I made this part first, and it's just back and forth. Now I used half double crochet, and I'll tell you why, because if you feel it, it's got a little bit of lump to it, you know, for scrubbing. So I like the half double crochet, and it goes a lot faster. I think double crochet, I don't think that would be, anyway, I think half double or single crochet would be best way to go. Once I got this part done, then what I did, I released the scrubby yarn, and then I started with a single crochet across. And I did that about 2, maybe 3 rows, and then I started half double crochet. I think I went back to half double crochet. And then I started decreasing a little bit until I got down to, let's see how many. Well, I'm down to 15, so I must have decreased it by like 3. And then I made mine 4 single crochets across, and then I chained enough. It was all a guessing game, guys. You know, this is hard to try to explain it to you. But I chained enough, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I skipped 8, but I think I chained like 12 or 13, 14, something like that, so that I could have a nice handle on it. And then the last 4 stitches is the single crochet. Then the next row, I single crocheted, and then caught the this single crochet around it, not through it, but around it, okay? And then start decreasing so that you could start rounding out your handle, okay? And I did 1, 2. Looks like I did 2 single crochets around, and then I did a slip stitch through the top to make it a little bit more sturdy, so it has a sturdy around the rim here. then I just brought my yarn back down to the other end and did the same thing. See? The only problem is I didn't decrease in here, and it made it sort of poke out. But who cares? I'm in the shower, right? Nobody's going to look at it. But it does stretch out. When it got wet, it stretched out, and it was perfect for me. So really, I think wasting a lot of time doing a tutorial is I'm just really spelling it out to you. That's easy. So it's just a matter of deciding what I did half double crochets here, half double crochets till I started this part here, and I used single crochet so to be more sturdy, and then the slip stitch around the handle. That's it, guys. That's the end of that. Okay, so that's very, very simple, and it's wonderful. It feels so freaking good. You'll love it. You will just love it. Um, I think that's it. I can't think of anything else I wanted to talk to you about. Um, that's my note. I got a thing. I'm doing a note. I'm doing the Happy Mail swap with Mama Llama. So go on to her channel, and it's called Share Your Stash Swap. And you need to sign up by 3/8. And then on 3/14, email swap. Oh, and then we should be getting emails on who our swap partner is. So do that. It's fun. I enjoyed last one, and this one is going to be go through your stash. And if you've got yarn that you haven't used, new yarn, don't send halves and all that stuff. But if you got some new yarn, and you're not going to use it, I'm kind of like what's her name? Crystal. Once I've done a yarn, I've used a yarn for a project, I kind of don't use that yarn again. I don't know why. It's just I like the challenge of new colors and stuff like that. And there's so many out and so many that I have never used, so it's fun in that respect. And you saw the dolls I've been making, and also the school. I put schools in my special little kitty cat book that I got from Amanda. And this is my Hats for Kids by the YouTube Crafters of January, starting January 2019. So our first school, which will also we will send hats to that, and then I'm going to get in touch with this school in Detroit, and I have some fillers out in Virginia. So, and also, I believe I got, was it this? I might have gotten another one. Someone else said they knew of a place. But anyway, we've got a good start coming, and it'll be fun. Today, what am I going to do today? Today, I might sew. I'm on a roll, but I think I should probably clean up my house a little bit. Update on Larry. Larry's still in the hospital. He called my neighbor and said he wanted to come home yesterday. And so I said, well, call him back and tell him that you want to talk to his doctor and see what the doctor says. So the doctor called her back, or the social worker, or whoever it was, and said, no, we don't want to release Larry right now. His nephew from Tampa was coming down to talk to her last night. So I don't know at this point what the situation is. She's keeping up with that. But she's leaving today or tomorrow for a little cruise her son is taking her on. Her son and his partner, Russ, they take their moms like once a year or twice a year. They take them places, So his partner Russ is bringing his mom. They're flying down, and then Jamie's coming over to get his mom, and they're going on a little cruise, a little 4-day cruise. So she's real excited. She was over last night, and I did her nails for her. They're in a pretty color of psychedelic blue. She looks cool, baby. She looks cool. So so she's really excited about her trip. I was going to tell you something funny, but it's only funny to me and not to you. So anyway, so that's where I am, and I'm going to get busy. I need to clean my house a little bit. I'm a little bit tired today. I did work all day yesterday, but you know, it was very energizing and I liked it. And that's all I got to talk about, I think. Oh, look at these hats. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm going to try tomorrow. Oh, this is the top that this is one of the moo I made. And this is out of really kind of heavy material. It's almost like reupholstery material, but a little bit lighter. And it is the best. It is the best. And it hangs nice. It lasts forever. It's just sleeves make it's nice and comfortable. And I wear it. I mean, it's wearable. And I put a little V-neck in the front and the back. So I learned a lot from some of the V-necks that I did. But yeah, it's real comfortable. You can do it. Just get your yarn. Just get your fabric and sew the sides. Make your sleeves. Do the top. I know you guys can do it. I know you can. So, nothing else new. So I'm going to say goodbye. Y'all keep hooking. And if you want to make these little cozies, the tutorials on YouTube are wonderful. There's one that's a little bit quicker and not as drawn out as some of the others. I know, like me, they might get kind of wordy, but I just like the bottom line, and I really like them. They're fun. These are really packed. You put padding on both sides, and then you put them together, so it won't hurt you to put it in the microwave. And it's all cotton. It has to be all cotton. So if you want to make one, make sure that your batting is all cotton, because I made the mistake of buying a little polyester, and it wasn't thick enough or anything. But I got the right padding from Joann's when I went in the other day, so I was real happy. Yeah, that gift card was burning a hole in my pocket. But I needed the stuff, right? I needed the padding and I think that was probably the most expensive thing that I bought was the padding. I don't even think that was on sale. But the coupon that I had for the 50% off, that helped. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Everything else is copacetic. Whew. I feel like I accomplished a lot yesterday, which means I probably won't accomplish a lot today. You can still see the marks on my C-pack. And I got the stuff for my mask, and I made one of those yesterday, and it fits perfect, and I'm real excited about that. So it was very comfortable last night. No leakage or anything. So I did good. Okay, my friends, I want y'all to keep hooking. Thanks for all my wonderful subscribers and my new subscribers and my likes, and hopefully you'll come back. Maybe I'll straighten up a little bit, but right now I don't see how I'm going to get out of this room. That's my biggest problem right now, is how to get out of this room. I've got hats and boxes, and all my prawn is all rolled up, and I still have a little bit more on that to do, but I just really got tired. I got a whole bag of spent plastic in here from the cuttings, so I need to empty that in a plastic bag, and so I can put it in the recycle bin. And it does take a lot of time if you get involved in that, because it really did take me a day and a half to do all those, the cutting and the putting them together, and then and I like to put my whites together and all that good stuff. But Publix and Walmart I put together to give it a little color on the next bag that I make. So so I'm waiting for my blue plastic from Carrie. I think it's Carrie that's sending me my blue plastic. So when she sends me my blue plastic, I have some plans for that. And I got some black, a little bit of black. And so yeah, I got a whole box of. It doesn't take long. You saw this little bit that I did. I went through 2 balls. I'm on my second ball already. So it does take, and yeah, and I kept changing the needle to make it so it was comfortable, because you never know. So I think I started out with like an L. I started out with an L, and I'm up to a, let's see, I think I'm on an M. N. I'm on an N now. MN. And I do have a Q. But I find that the white plastic is a lot, the thickness of it is a lot thinner than the Walmart and Publix. I know you guys don't have Publix up north, but down here, our Publix is like your Giant or Safeway or something like that. But right now, I've got to clean up my hats. I've got to get a tote out, get my hats in that, and so that it'll be ready for when I need to divide it all up to send to the little elementary school for this August. They start school. Oh no, they don't start school in August. September, I think. Oh no, down. Where is it? Oh, in North Carolina. Yeah, they start school in August. That's right. Virginia, they don't start school until after Labor Day. I think that was a state law. We always started after Labor Day. Well, shout out to Amanda, my friend at Undercover Yarn Snob. She does beautiful work too. Llama Mama, hi Llama Mama. She's got a birthday coming. Gypsy Rose joined my channel, and she has a birthday coming on, I believe it's March the 11th. Hey, I'm writing things down now. You guys, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. Let's see. Gypsy, where did I write your stuff down? Anyway, Gypsy, I think it's March the 11th. She's a March baby. And Llama Mama's birthday is in April. And I think she's going to be doing a live broadcast. Pretty sure that's what she said. But I don't know. Oh, also, I'm a tester. How you like that? I love being a tester. And I'm not going to tell you who or what or anything like that because she hasn't given me permission. But yeah, I'm a tester. So I'm really excited about that. I started it last night, but I'm not happy with the yarn. So I'm going to go through my stash and see if I have something else. She made a recommendation on type of yarn we should use. I wasn't happy with it. Anyway, so I'm going to revisit the yarn. So I'm real happy. And in here I've got Gypsy. Oh shit! I let that slip, didn't I? I'm sorry. Forget that. Just don't forget Gypsy's birthday. And I believe it's March the 11th. And Llama Mama is April. So, April 7th or 8th or something. I have that written down in a different book. I'm getting confused. I've got all these books, and now I don't know where all the information is. I know this is hats for kids. So I know where that goes right beside me, but I don't know where I wrote down. I know I wrote it down somewhere. Oh, maybe it's in this pad. And they're crazy. Oh God. Oh yeah, it's Gypsy's. There it is, March the 11th. And because I asked for her address, so I want to send her a card. But I don't know if it's going to get there by March the 11th. But anyway, Jada's cow. Let's see. March 11th, Gypsy Rose's birthday. Llama Mama's birthday is in April. That's right. See, I knew I had it written down somewhere. I got everything written down somewhere. I just don't know where. Oh my gosh. Don't forget Canadian Crocheter locale. I talked to her on the phone the other day and got directions. I need to do that, and I can't do it in this video, but I will. I wanted to go through the steps and write them down before I go through, so everybody knows the steps. I think it's important to have those because I really didn't. if you're not familiar with all that. Oh, Marley Bird. I meant to do a shout out to her. How to crochet the perfect easy poncho up to 3 and 4X. So if some of you beautiful ladies like me, right? Beautiful. Nice figures all over. We got figures all over. Don't pick one figure, just pick them all because we got them. Go to Molly Bird because I thought that was pretty cool. She does it was a nice easy poncho, and it goes up to 3 and 4X. I forgot to do a shout out about that, so that's what I am shouting about. Okay, I think that's it. Yep, and I want you to know I am getting close to the 500 mark, guys. You guys are absolutely wonderful, and I love planning these little giveaways. I know I kind of went off on that one and said I was going to do gifts, and then a lot of some people brought out, a lot of my subscribers brought out the because of location, if I wanted to do it international and all that stuff. So that's why I was kind of keeping things kind of small as a reward, because I thought if I ever reach 1,000, then that would be when I would do the yarns and stuff like that. And it'll just be for the subscribers. You have to be a subscriber to enter the giveaway. But yeah, but you saw what I was collecting, right? I've been collecting stuff. Oh yeah, I got it all planned, I think. But it'll fall in. But I like doing the giveaways. I love to give things away. And my sister said yesterday on the phone, she said, "What are you doing? You don't have to do that for me." I said, "Well, I want to. I like giving things away." She said, "Me too." And then she proceeded to tell me that she had the 2 blankets that I made for my nieces back, say, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. My God, it must have been 50 years ago. Remember I told you they still had them? Well, she took them and from 2 of her kids and kept them because they were moving around a lot and she didn't want anything to happen to them. Well, then she called me yesterday and she said one of them has kind of unraveled around the bottom, and I said that's okay. I can fix that. And she said another one she had a older blanket that was given to her from somebody, I can't remember who, but anyway, has a hole in it. She said ask if I could fix it. And I said, well, yeah, I'll give it an old American try. I told her I'd bring my tools with me when I go visit her, and I hope to go tomorrow. I really do. So we'll see how it goes. And my neighbor will be gone by then, so I won't have any interruptions. But yeah, so isn't that exciting that she still has those blankets? And she said the other daughter still had her blanket too. So it's nice that she likes, preserving all that stuff. In fact, she got, when my grandmother died, my grandmother had her mother's bedroom suit, and oh God, it's beautiful. It's got the long window, the long mirror in the dresser. I mean, in the vanity, that goes almost to the floor, but it has, not maybe a foot from the floor, and then it has the doors on the side, and then it has a chifforobe. I call it a chifforobe because back in those days they didn't have closets, so they hung their clothes in the chifforobes. And so my grandmother's bedroom suit was carved. It was solid oak, beautiful, heavy furniture. And so my sister asked if she could have it. So she got the chifforobe and the vanity table and also the headboard, and it was a double bed. I slept on that double bed. And when my father was dying, we stayed with my grandmother. We were at the hospital most of the time, but we would go to grandma's and take a little nap here and there to give us a break. But I would sleep on her bed, and she'd have because there's no heat in the house, so, and it was in the winter. It was cold, so she had heating blankets on all her beds. So I'd crawl in there in that heating bed. It was just so nice. And I'll tell you a little secret. My grandmother lived to be 99 and a half years old. And then until the time that she had to leave her home to go to the nursing home, she had a pea pot, a real pea pot, under her bed. Because then the beds were high, right? And it would fit under. But she had one of those up till the time that she didn't walk down the hall to my father, I think it was my father, put a bathroom in her house, I think in the early 50s yeah, it was in the early 50s because I was there. Because I remember using the outhouse. Whew, God, that thing stunk. And you talk about the Sears robot catalog sitting in the outhouse. Well, honey, that's a true story because I remember. But there would be spider webs in there. I just hated going in there. Oh, and I was just a little girl. God, gosh, I can't remember. Maybe if I was born in 45, I was 5, 6. I was like 6, 7 years old, maybe 6, using the outhouse. Oh yeah. And my grandmother had an old house, and it was built up on these bricks, so you could crawl underneath of it. Well, I'll tell you the story. And she had pecan trees. Pecan trees. Pecan trees. We call them pecans in the South. But she had pecan trees. So in the fall, those pecans would be all over the place, and we'd have to pick them up. But anyway, my brother and I guess we were like, I want to say 3 and 4, or 4 and 5. But we could crawl under Grandma's house. And my brother, Sam, he got a hold of some matches. And we crawled underneath the house and we started lighting matches. We did matches, right? A little light, my brother, he could be bad. But anyway, I was right there with him. So they found me. My grandmother found us underneath the house lighting matches. Well, she took us one hand in the other, and she said, I want you to go over that tree and I want you to break you off a switch because your little legs are going to get it. And we're crying. Oh my God. Isn't it funny how so many things I can't remember, but I just remember this so well. And she would, so we went and we got our switch, and she'd take that little switch and she'd just switch our little back of our little legs. Oh yeah, yes sirree, and they stung. Those little branches stung because we got the thinnest and the smallest one we could find. My brother and I, but boy, we got it that day and cried all the way in the house. I'm telling you, that was so funny. But and the other thing that I remember, my grandmother had chickens, and she had a big garden in the back, and potatoes. She raised potatoes and stuff like that, all kinds of stuff. And I remember one time we were going to have chicken for Sunday dinner, and Grandma went in the back, and she grabbed one of those chickens, and she wrung its neck. This is gross. If you don't listen to it, don't. And she had a hatchet or a saw or something and cut its neck off. But the legs of that chicken kept moving around and scared the hell out of me. Lord have mercy. And I was a little girl. I mean, I was little. But it did scare me. I didn't know what in the heck was going on. But I had never seen that before. And I remember she boiled the chicken in a big pot. And then she picked off the feathers after she boiled it. And cut it up. And that's what we had for Sunday dinner. I know, but those were the old days. You got to remember, this is back in the 40s. If we were 3 and 4 or 4 and 5, it was like 49 or 48. My brother and I were only, like, I don't know, 15 months apart. So, yeah. Those were some wild times, I tell you. It's something. I mean, my grandmother's house was on one corner, and my Aunt Josie's house was on the other corner, and nothing in between. And now you should see it, all these houses in between. But we used to run back and forth between my Aunt Josie's and my grandma's house. But it was no TV, no phones, nothing like that. In fact, when my father, oh God, this is running long, but I want to tell you the story. It was my brother and I were born, and my father was adopted. Well, his mother had 6 children. My father and his his sister, Mary Lou, had been, the mother gave up the children but kept the others because they could work. And this was back this was back in 1920. See, Dad was 6, so he was born in 1925. My father had a younger sister. And I don't know, I think he knew he had a younger sister, but he didn't know where she was. So, it's the phone ringing, don't worry about it. So, Ann Renfrew, I don't know who that is. So anyway, one day, my dad, the police officer came up, the sheriff of the town drove up to my grandmother's house. And we were all sitting on the porch. And he said that he had a phone call from my father. When my father went to the police station, it turned out it was my aunt. And it was the first contact they had ever had. She did, after my father died, my brother knew about it, but I didn't. My father had a letter from my aunt, and it wrote, "Dear Thurman," that was my dad's name, "I think I might be your sister." Yeah. She was adopted. My father was fostered. I mean, he was fostered out to a family in Mount Airy, North Carolina, and my aunt was adopted, and she had a different name than my father. So he didn't, and back then you didn't have the tools that we have now to find your siblings or whatever. So anyway, my father comes back, grabs my brother and I, and my mother, and we drove to Raleigh, North Carolina, and that's where my aunt lived. And she had a boy and a girl, and my father had a boy and a girl. And that was Mary Faye and brother, that's what we call them. And everybody's got 2 names, right? Mary Lou, Mary Faye, Billie Jean, we all got 2 names. And we met them, and I remember that. And my cousin, she said she remembers the day my dad showed up at the door. And she knocked on the door, or Dad knocked on the door, and she answered the door. And she said, "Mama, there's some man out here that looks just like you standing at the door." Can't you hear her say that in her southern accent? And I'll be darned, those 2, out of the children, all the children, that my never really met my grandmother. I might have met her when I was little, but I don't remember her. And my grandfather was already dead, because that's why she gave up my father's. But they were the only 2 out of those 5 or 6 kids, 6 kids I think, that looked so much alike. I mean, if they put hair on Dad, he would have looked just like Aunt Mary Lou. And we always told him, because he would go and bald. If he had had hair, they would look just alike. But that's when they met. And I guess Dad was in his 20s or 30. I don't know. Let's see, 1926. And this was like in late 40s, I guess, or 50. It had to be late. It had to be in the mid 40s somewhere. I was born in 45, so 46, 47. So I was like, must have been 48, somewhere around in that area. But after that, they were like this. They were like this. And she just turned out to be one of my best friends, my aunt. She was wonderful. I loved her so much, and her kids. She had 2 boys and 1 girl, and I was very close to them, still very close to them. They're wonderful, just wonderful kids. They've grown up to be great. Mary Lou is about a couple years older than I am, and brother is about my age, and then Randy is a lot younger. But I just loved her. She used to come to Washington to visit me. She'd bring Randy, and I'd take her out to Mount Vernon, and she reminded me of a story that I once, oh God, I'm really getting down on this. She reminded me of a story once when I was taking her out to Mount Vernon. There was this kid walking across the highway. Just walking across the highway. I pulled over, stopped my car, went and grabbed that kid. And my aunt told me the story because she remembered. And then I took that kid to every house that was on that, that was around that area, because there was a street right there. And that mother was so happy. She was just so ecstatic, and I had forgotten that, but my aunt reminded me of that. I I really suffered it from her loss. I was with her. I helped take care of her for quite a while. My cousin was with her during the week, and I would take off on the weekends. I would leave on Friday and stay till Monday. Leave Monday and go back to work. Drive down to Florida and help take care of her to give my cousin a break. She was a cool lady. She played bridge like I played bridge, and we played bridge with a few friends of hers, and she had a great sense of humor. She I was taking care of her one day, one weekend, and she was laying on the couch, and I was on the floor doing some stretching exercise on my back because my back hurt from driving down there. And she looked at me. She says, "You know, you look like a whale." And she died of lung cancer, and she smoked. Yes, and I asked her. I said, "If you knew that you were going to get cancer, I mean, would you still if would you still keep smoking?" She said yes. So yeah, so that was one she just. So anyway, but there was some funny stories, isn't it? And it was just, isn't it funny how things back and there's things that we found out after Daddy died that I didn't know, and we didn't know, and they didn't talk about things back then. They kept everything to themselves. So it's interesting, isn't it? God, I'm sorry, guys. I'm really rattling on. I was going to quit 10 minutes ago, and now y'all have got me all tied up with Daddy's stories. And I should write a book about it. I really should. I mean, it's very interesting how, and there's stories about my father's family, and he wasn't close with his family at all. And my aunt, she wouldn't have anything to do with any of her brothers or mother, any of them. And her father, of course, was dead because that's one of the reasons they put them up for adoption. But she had very hard feelings about that, and she didn't have anything to do with any of the others. And then I found out later why. But I'll tell you all about that. It's a mystery. So wait for another broadcast when all of this is going to come out. It's a very interesting story. You wouldn't believe some of the interesting characters in my family, and it took me 70 years to find out all this. But anyway, it's interesting, and I'm going to go away. Hope you enjoyed my stories. I didn't mean to go that far, but I did. I sound like Trump. It goes to the court, then he passes it around, but anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bye, hookers. Keep hooking. Love you guys. Hugs and kisses to all of you. Z, I don't know if you're watching this, but I hope you feel better. I don't know the results of your x-ray yet about whether you have fluid in your lungs, but let me tell you, I've been there. That fluid and the pneumonia, it hurts. It's painful, and you probably should be doing breathing exercises at home, or the breathing at home. That's what I had to do. But they'll take care of you. Just do what the doctor says, and feel better soon. Bye, everybody. Keep hooking.